A robot named Henry, who bears an uncanny resemblance to the T-800, sits alone by a lake with only butterflies for company. It turns out that in the near future, the Third World War broke out, leaving humanity on the brink of extinction and the world in ruins. Suddenly, it starts to rain heavily, and the butterflies leave Henry's side. With no other choice, he finds a house to take shelter from the rain. As he stands inside the dilapidated house, Henry stares at the rainy scene outside, feeling utterly alone. He opens the projector in his eyes, which can capture information left behind by humans and display it in 3D in front of him. The projection reveals that a happy family of 3 once lived here. After the rain, Henry walks aimlessly through the streets. A billboard catches his attention, depicting people with flesh and blood, in stark contrast to his own metal skeleton. Moving on, he suddenly hears a woman's voice. It turns out to be a damaged robot flight attendant sitting next to a crashed passenger plane, endlessly repeating the safety instructions. Curious, Henry leans in for a closer look, but suddenly sparks fly, and the flight attendant completely shuts down. Henry reaches out, removes her voice card, and installs it in his own throat, but it's incompatible, and he still can't speak. At night, a building emits light and music. Henry wants to investigate, but a bullet stops him in his tracks. He can only raise his hands and back away. In this post-apocalyptic world, the few surviving humans are very cautious, no longer trusting anyone, let alone a robot. Henry walks all night without encountering any other living beings, surrounded only by destroyed or abandoned cars. Entering a building, Henry suddenly notices a girl reaching through an iron gate, trying to grab food inside, but her arm is too short to reach. Seeing Henry's arrival, the girl is frightened and retreats. Henry tries to explain, but the girl runs away. He feels very dejected, looking at himself in the mirror, realizing that anyone would be scared of his mechanical body. The girl hides in a corner, not daring to show herself. Henry sits dejectedly in the corridor all night. Suddenly, he notices a plastic bucket on the ground next to a spilled can of paint. An idea seems to strike him. He picks up the bucket and starts doodling on it, then pries open the iron gate. The girl hears the commotion and curiously walks out of the room. The scene before her is quite shocking. Henry now has a plastic bucket with a smiley face drawn on it on his head, and his arms are full of various foods. This image is clearly more approachable. Seeing the girl appear, he even hands her the chocolate he's holding. The girl cautiously walks up and tentatively takes the chocolate from Henry's hand. Only then does she believe that Henry means no harm. From then on, the two slowly become familiar with and accept each other, becoming each other's companion in this post-apocalyptic world.